Okay, so the new Total War Three Kingdoms has been announced, the new historical feature coming out for Total War. I'm excited. I'm stoked. Any of you that played Dynasty Warriors growing up, you should be stoked. It's excited to see Lu Bu and all the other characters kind of brought to life in a Total War environment. What that's going to include, what that's going to mean, I'm not 100% sure. There is a countdown going on their stream for 24 hours from now. Well, at least 24 hours from when the original announcement cinematic went up. So we should hopefully be seeing some more information tomorrow about what's going to be included in Total War Three Kingdoms. You know, from that overhead shot, we saw Korea, we saw Vietnam, we saw parts of India, we saw China. So maybe it is more than just simply the romance of the Three Kingdoms that we're going to be going through. But in this video here today, we're going to go through the announcement cinematic. We're going to go through some of the historical players in that cinematic, as well as what the climate was like at that time. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with this time period in general from just, you know, pop culture with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, or just from Dynasty Warriors as a whole. Like, honestly, Dynasty Warriors drove me into Romance of the Three Kingdoms to learn more about it. So we'll go through everything we see here in a general kind of order of appearance way. I'll pause it and talk a little bit about them. I'm going to be butchering some of the actual pronunciations here. I'm so sorry. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you'd like. I'm more than able to that. Our first historical character, the white-tailed hawk.
And tyrants rule over the ashes.
We're going to be coming up to our two big hitters here. How can you not like Dong Zhuo as well as Lu Bu? Oh, just saying Lu Bu, just goosebumps all over my body. But we know that this is probably going to take place after the usurping from Dong Zhuo. You know, he kind of played a very heavy hand in Emperor Shao and Emperor Zhan, and their kind of, I guess you could say their entire rise and fall. But I kind of want them to include some yellow turbans. So hopefully this will actually go pre this point in history, and we'll get the Yellow Turban Rebellion as well.
As the light dims, shadows grow ever darker.
We have another shot of Lu Bu here with his ji, as it is, his famous not staff but spear. This Lu Bu in the background, Dong Zhuo here as well. I don't know if this is supposed to be Shao or Jian, or Yuan, I mean.
The future, and harmony shatters in the flames of turmoil. Yet from the cinders,
and then this is how like every Dynasty Warriors game starts.
Boom!
So we have got, let me get their stats so you can see. So we've got Zhang Fei, we've got Liu Bei, and then we've got Guan Yu, and this is the Guangdong Coalition. You know, the three of them kind of decide, hey, let's join our forces here to take down Dong Zhuo. So this one's kind of hard for me. Is this Yuan Shuao? Who is this 100%? I think it's Yuan Shuao because he's kind of calling the shots here.
The Empire,
we got Liu Bei right there.
must divide, and destiny be shaped.
I can't wait for this.
Champions.
I'm going to interrupt his charge here. I don't want to, but I have to. But this is the Battle of Hulao Pass, and this is one of the coolest points in the whole history of this big conflict here. You've got really Lu Bu kind of coming out and really ripping up face. As I say that, look what happens. Oh God. So I'm not sure who that is. I want to say that's probably Cao Cao, but a lot of people are thinking that might even be Zhuge Liang. I don't really know 100% because we don't really know a whole bunch, but well, for certain that's Liu Bei, Zhang Fei again, and Guan Yu kind of going toe to toe. And in the actual quote unquote history, I didn't stop, you stopped. Okay, we'll stop right there. That's a pretty good point right there. Look at that mean mug. Oh, he's so angry. But in the history here, like Lu Bu squares off against multiple lords. Everyone's like, hey, no, I can fight you. And he just kills these guys nonstop. Like he starts with Feng Yui. He just completely gibbs this guy, kills him outright. They have this weird way of measuring things as bouts or rounds. It's kind of like any exchange of flurry. So if I attack you and you parry, attack, parry, and we both break, that's a bout, that's a round. So it's a very interesting way of doing things, and a very romantic way, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, of describing a duel between two prominent people in the army. Now, a very common theme you see in a lot of these movies or a lot of these games, and even in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms itself, in the publication, you see these lords, you see these Lu Bus, you see these Young Feis, you see these guys just ripping house, right? You just see them completely tearing people apart. And Guan Yu is known as the god of war, eventually the god of fortune, but still, you see them always doing this. And that's because the militaries at the time were a little bit more on the conscript side and not as much of a professional soldier. They were more militia-based or forced into some form of soldiery. So you have these very highly trained, very specialized nobility, warlords, whatever you want to call them, leading these conscript armies and just killing things by the masses in droves, because they are so much better fighters than them, so more well trained, so much more well equipped. And that's an important thing, is they are well equipped. They have armor. They don't just have cloth and a sword. So you have these guys who can really go toe to toe. And in the battle of Hulao Pass, Lu Bu is like this ghost that just keeps appearing multiple times. Like, you've got these initial engagements where it's like, okay, hey, we're going to split, the Guangdong coalition says, we're going to split our army up, and we're going to try and split theirs up as well. And instead, Lu Bu just kind of meets every resistance he can and kills 2 or 3 people. Like, he completely cuts people's hands off. Like, that's in one part where he cuts off, I think it's Wu Engguao. Just slices his hands off. Sure, whatever, screw it, huh? But it's not until eventually the 3 brothers, as they become, brothers in spirit, not in actuality, Zhang Fei gets in this very long fight with Lu Bu for like 50 bouts. And then Guan Yu comes in and he joins the fray. And you can have that going on here, Zhang Fei and Guan Yu, before Liu Bei comes in with, to kind of help put that 3-way pressure onto him. And eventually Lu Bu goes to make his escape. And the coalition says, hey, we'll call that a win. And that's the Battle of Hulao Pass. And it's a really, really important battle in this whole entire grand scheme of things. And it's a great way to showcase what we're possibly going to get here, right? I mean, you can see just from here. Like, I'm so excited for what these armies are going to look like, what the kind of variety is going to be. Well, how they're going to specialize. How's the Han Dynasty going to be? How's the Wei Dynasty going to be? So it's really exciting here too, because we're going to see what point this starts and what point it stops in. Is this going to be from the Yellow Turban Rebellion all the way to the beginning of the Han Dynasty? What's it going to look like? So I'm really excited to see this thing pan out, because I know a lot of you guys have been saying, I want to see the 3 Kingdoms. Oh God. Oh. When you have a rapier, you can do this thing called a glissade, where it's kind of like that. We'll go back. Where someone does like a mid-low attack, and you can actually disarm them by whipping the blade out and shooting it from their hands. This is not a glissade at all, but it's just as beautifully done. Wait for it. Every time I see it, I watch this like 8 times at work. But this is going to be a real exciting time to have a Total War game, and I'm really excited to see what we get in the way of, I don't want to say legendary lord, but how will that really make a translation here? Will we see something that is entirely like Total War Warhammer? Because the 3 Kingdoms is not 100% history. It's even called a work of fiction. It's got a lot of fantastical stuff. People regrow things. People ride arrows. People do all sorts of crazy, fantastical shit. And that's kind of half the cool, or half the awesome stuff about the 3 Kingdoms. If you haven't watched the movie Red Cliff, I strongly recommend it as a kind of a current era interpretation of this. But that deals more with the Shu Dynasty. But it's really exciting to see this, because they can use a lot of the aspects and a lot of the features from Total War Warhammer 1 and 2 and combine them with a lot of the stuff that's worked so well for the Total War franchise leading up to this point in the historical games, in the historical facts. So will we see maybe these officers, these big deal war officers, come into maybe a warlord realm or something like a legendary lord realm, or will they be kind of minor characters that you can use as agents? I'm really excited to see this. I mean, I'd love to have an army controlled by, Zhang Fei and controlled by Liu Bei and the such, with the agents in them. Like, I want to be able to have everyone on board. So I'm excited to see what we get revealed tomorrow, what we get revealed in the coming weeks. Some other big stuff coming. I know that all the gameplay released yesterday for the Tomb Kings, Grace said that we're going to get a roster reveal next week. So we've got that to look forward to. And then what is it? So it's the 10th right now. Next week is a roster reveal. And then week after that, guys, it's Tomb Kings. Open and shut case, Johnson. Let's get playing. Let's play some Bone Daddies. But I'm really excited to kind of go through this journey with you guys here. We'll start getting some more Regiments of Renown. I've got a video on deck for the High Elf Regiments of Renown. I didn't release it today, and I'm glad, because I think I'm way more excited to talk about this than I would be to talk about the Regiments of Renown, because that's just going to get drowned out right now. But I'll have that coming up here in the next day or two, just so you guys can kind of at least get an idea of what we're going to be looking at in the future of Regiments of Renown for the High Elves. And if you guys like that video and you like the presentation, I can do more in discussion for the Dark Elves, Skaven, or our Lizardmen. But thanks for watching here today, guys. Have a good one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As I said, liking really helps out any YouTuber you really like. Indie Pride, Turin, Lord Master Sotek. Don't watch Gobbo King. He's terribly good at everything he does, the bastard. But thanks for watching here today, guys. Have a good one and take care.